Well, we're all about football this morning here at the early edition. The Okanagan Sun getting ready to kick off the homestand here for the 2009 football season. A storied team with a storied career. It's a pleasure to welcome to our studios three members of the Okanagan Sun organization. From my immediate right, sitting here as the president of the organization, Les Weiss. Les, good morning to you.
How you doing?
You know what? Good to see you here back in the studio. I kept saying, you got to come down. You got to come into the studio. You got to spend some time, and we keep talking about it. Well, you're here today, and welcome. The guy in the middle, and I wouldn't say the rose between the thorns, but definitely the guy who has a grin as wide as all outdoors as he sits in our studios here this morning, the new head coach of the Okanagan Sun, Pete McCall. Pete, good morning to you.
Good morning, Phil.
A little closer, please. You gotta love this thing. You gotta love this thing. Don't be afraid of it. And the guy who makes it happen for those of us in the media, and it's a pleasure to work with Blake Roberts. Blake, good morning to you.
Morning, Phil.
Morning. Don't be afraid of that thing now. So now listen, I have to go there. And you all can say that's too political, don't want to talk about it. But I know that yesterday there was this big news conference that was being called for the Apple Bowl. We had heard about it for 2 days. I'd been talking with Bartel about it. What do you think's going to happen? What do you think's going to happen? He said, I don't know, but it's a big news conference. And I know that you were all called out. We were anticipating that there was maybe going to be something good happening at the Apple Bowl. Instead, we've discovered that they're going to reconstruct the long jump runways. Les, it's a political hat here that I'm going to toss to you. Disappointed.
Well, you know what? I said earlier yesterday that was I disappointed? I was more surprised than disappointed. But obviously, anytime you get that type of money from the federal government, you got to be happy about that. And the city's been a great partner with us, and we went there expecting some more stuff for the Apple Bowl. But
right.
I've been reassured by the fellas from the city that it'll eventually happen. It's just that there's some other things that needed to be done first. And,
well, clearly, and I mean, I had great sympathy for the Kelowna Falcons and the people that play baseball over at Elk Stadium. The Elk Stadium's sports disaster in the city has been known for a long time. New grandstand, new lights and things, overdue there. So I guess as part of the sporting community, politically, you have to say good on the city.
Well, absolutely. And I talk to the guys at the city an awful lot. And I know that never ends, that they get complaints from everybody. Everybody's always pulling them in 12 different directions, that they need to fix this, they need to fix that. The Apple Bowl, it's without a doubt, it's getting long on the tooth, and it does need some work. And
a little tattered around the edges.
It is, and I mean, they all recognize that, they know that. But I mean, Rome wasn't built in a day, and I think that things will eventually happen there.
It sounds like the president of the team is saying we have faith, and Caesar will deliver unto Caesar's at some point in time.
Absolutely.
All right, well put. Yeah. Pete McCall, I know that as you went to Victoria and you matched up against the Rebels in their new home park, Bear Mountain Park, I listened to Ryan Waters talking about the park that he was broadcasting from. Pretty spectacular, and within the league, this would probably have to be one of the best houses for football anywhere right now.
Well, next to the Apple Bowl.
Well, yeah.
It was a nice facility, a brand new facility. There's still, they didn't have the meshing behind the uprights there, so every time we kicked the ball, it went in the pond, so we were losing the football every time there was a score. But, no, it's, for our level of football, it's a nice sized stadium. You can fill it up, and, they've copied us. They've done a lot of things we do at our games. They have, play by play, and they had the band there and, cheerleaders. So, yeah, they've got a nice little, setup. 32-4 or
34-21, the final score as you came home. You and I have since talked about that game, and you said the best news for you is that you finished on a high note. You finished with momentum, and that forecasts in your mind a good result going into the season home opener this weekend. Yeah,
definitely. We didn't come out of the gate all that well, but we definitely improved as the game went on. And made some changes in personnel where we needed to, and adjustments where we needed to. And
what does that mean? We made some changes in personnel. We made some adjustments in personnel.
Well, as far as personnel goes, if you're seeing someone get beat, you need to put somebody else in there. And that was our first real test this year. So you have guys playing that haven't really been tested, and maybe they're not ready. So then you got to go and look at somebody else in that spot. So we moved some people around, and we identified people through that.
You've had 3 or 4 good practices?
This week's been great. That rest, we worked hard in our bye week, but we did give them 3 days off. And so you can see their nervous system is recharged. And, they're looking like a fine football team this week.
Well, it's tough to come in from a summer, and I recognize that many of these young men are busy in the gym. They're working out. They're getting ready to come to town. But coming to town to try out versus making the teams, two different stories, two different equations.
Yeah, and then, you come to Kelowna in the summer and you have 35-degree temperatures in the evening and you're playing football and that, and you're expected to lift weights as well, and a lot of them work during the day, and then you throw the fire in there and the breathing conditions. That was a tough month of training that we put in before our bye. They were due. They needed a break, and, the season has changed and they look ready to go here.
Going to switch tack here for just a second, go over to Blake Roberts. Blake, this is a team that is broadcast here on the early edition, or on the early edition. That's just but on AM1150. It's a pleasure to broadcast the games of the Okanagan Sun. Status on tickets, and you had some interesting packages as you were getting set to release the tickets to the market.
Yep. Just kind of, I guess, further to what Les and Pete said, we've got the best fans in the CJFL, absolutely bar none. Teams love/hate to come here, because our fans are loud, because we've got the stands on both sides of the field. For example, we've got the main grandstand they're kind of the more of the sedate people.
Mm-hmm.
On the east side, it's they call it the Sun Asylum. They've aptly named themselves. And about 7-8 years ago, we had a quarterback. Remember Dennis Dujmovic? He played for Surrey. He was quarterback for Surrey the previous year, and he came to play for us. And we had him over for dinner one night, and he made a point of saying, "I can't wait to play for these guys instead of against them," because he rolled out in a game against us the previous year, and like quarterbacks will do, he ran out of bounds, so he didn't take the hit. He wasn't going to get any more yardage, and he made the mistake of doing it in front of our east side stands, and they let him have it. They called him names I can't repeat here, and every time he touched the ball, they were chanting at him, and he was laughing. He said it was brutal but fun. The players that come here, they love it, but they hate it.
And I think that has to do with the tradition of this team. The Okanagan Sun have many times become national champions. They compete aggressively and successfully through the season. And that's a beautiful little home over there as it nestles down in the Apple Bowl. It is a great place to play football. And when you switch from afternoon, night, whatever the case, under the lights or otherwise, it's just built for an intimate football experience.
Every team that come here says that. The Regina Rams, who used to play against in junior, they're in CIS now. They still talk about our park. They'd love to have it. They tell other CIS teams about it. It's a good place to play, a good place to watch football. So, and our tickets are $12 at the gate or $12 in advance online at okanagansun.ca.
You can't beat the price.
Nope.
Great experience.
Great entertainment value.
Take a quick break here this morning at the early edition open phone section. We're talking about football. Football as it lives and breathes in the hearts of these three men that are in my studio this morning, and indeed for many of you that are fans of the Okanagan Sun, have been for many years. When we come back on the other side, Blake mentioned the word CIS, and there are some Canadian teams that are turning their back and joining the CIS. At one point in time, the vision was the Okanagan Sun could become a university football. Maybe we'll go to that in a moment. But right now, quick break. Back after this, we're talking football.